Amir Muhammad, the guy that was wearing the bow tie the night that Biggie got killed, the Muslim guy, the guy that you believe that was behind Biggie's murder. Are you sure that he was the one that was behind it? Do you really believe that? Because I seen on the LA local news that he live in Georgia now and he does real estate.
Bruh, if they got pictures of Amir Muhammad at that thing, why was he there? Why was he there? In a blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie. Why did he walk up to me and Puff's car? Do you understand me? Why 5 to 8 to 10 minutes later, Lil C see a guy in a blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie, peanut head, shooting big? I know who walked up to us, brother. You understand me? I know the picture I saw with the face messed up. And if the FBI says that was Amir Muhammad right there, if Lil C says that the Muslim is the same one I saw, do you understand me? The blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie. Didn't know his name at the time. I don't care what man, I know guys that, bruh, they damn near reverends in church, but they didn't pull triggers. They didn't bury people. Anybody has the opportunity to change their life. And $750,000 to help. Do you understand that, my brother? $750,000 from a bank robbery from two cops. One of the cops would use godfather of his son. They never got the $750,000 back. That'll help any real estate business. I don't care what he do. Did they also say that he was the same individual and the same person that got into a situation with his ex-wife or his girlfriend and her boyfriend and they end up dead?
No, I ain't hear about that.
Oh, okay. Tell your man to do this research on that. Bruh, you don't understand what somebody go through, and maybe it was post-traumatic stress. Like, you gotta understand, I've seen guys get their head topped off in a club. I've seen guys get shot in the street. I've seen a whole lot of different things that has went down. But to experience probably one of the world's greatest rappers of all time, Biggie Smalls, lose his life, to pull him out the car, to go through that whole situation, that shit don't go away. For the last, from 97 until now, I still hear Big's music. They still play Big's music. You understand what I'm saying? They still talk about him. I talk about him. The papers talk about him. His fans talk about him. That shit just don't go away.
What's good, y'all? Now, Gene Deal is about to get into some way more interesting details when it comes on to Biggie Smalls. But he makes it blatant and clear that Amir Muhammad was the killer, was the shooter. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's not the shooter. He's doing real estate and all of that, and he's a businessman. But Gene Deal is making it clear that down to a pastor would do it and get away with it. And he firmly states and firmly believed that it wasn't Poochie, it wasn't all those names that we're hearing, it was Amir Muhammad, because he saw the person himself, right? So I want you guys to watch the rest of the interview to hear what he has to say. Remember to drop a like and subscribe. Drop a like, my people, as it helps out a lot. But enough of me talking. I'ma shut up and let you guys watch the rest of the interview. Check it out.
You understand? And to be in a situation when you was trying to save somebody's life and it goes the other direction, that shit gonna f with me for the rest of my life. It's just something that I ain't been able to shake. And it's hard. It's real hard. I still do what I gotta do. I retired. You understand? Try to be a good friend. Try to be a good brother to a brother to a sister. Try to be a good man. But you still go back to when you pulling that man out the car. You still go back to the shit that you seen, even the smile on his motherfucking face before we left off the Peterson Museum. So maybe I need to sit on some doctor couch. I don't know. But it is what it is, my brother.
If you can go back to that night that Biggie was killed, would you put more focus on Biggie, or would you still put all your focus on Puffy since you was doing security for him in the first place?
Puff was my principal. I wasn't being paid anything to do security for Big, but to be honest, it's so hard sometimes. You wish it was you. You understand? You wish it was you. But if I had to do it all over again, I'm at loss of words, brother. Because I have a job, and having a job and having a responsibility holds high to me. You understand what I'm saying? Puff was my job that day. That was my responsibility. But Big was a kid that didn't deserve none of the shit that happened to him that night. So it's hard for me to let down my responsibility and say, I wish I would have saved Big instead of Puff.
How you feel about Greg Cater, man? How you feel about him trying to take credit for, Keefe D getting arrested for Tupac murder?
Greg Cater ain't solved. Greg Cater ain't solved. SHIT, bruh. Let's keep it a buck. He ain't solved nothing. Him and nobody else. You understand? There's information out there that Suge and a few other people know, and I will never repeat because I don't know how true it is, but it was told to me that night. You understand? Suge told a couple of people some other information that he wouldn't probably say to the people or to the world. But Greg Caden ain't, to answer your question, he ain't solved Tupac murder, he ain't solved Big murder. All he did was waste the taxpayers' money. You understand? Got rich off our culture. You know what I'm saying? Did movies, wrote a book, and laughing at us because we sitting around here listening to his act.
Real talk, man. But I want to get your opinion on something, right? Before we end this interview. I want you to look at this, look at this clip by Suge Knight from his podcast and give me your point of view.
At that point that Pac decided to ride with me and be on death row, his friends became my friends. His enemies became my enemies. So at the social war, everything I said was motherfucking true.
Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record. dancing, come to death row.
I'm not gonna go up there and hug a motherfucker who has something to do with the homie getting shot up. So yeah, what did I say? One truth. If you don't want a motherfucker all on your motherfucking videos, they could have came to death row. That would have happened. Because at the end of the day, that motherfucker was all in the motherfucking video still today, and he benefited when Biggie wasn't here. Because if Biggie wasn't here, he wouldn't be rapping. Once Biggie wasn't here, that motherfucker started rapping. When Pac left, I didn't pick up a microphone. I picked up the pieces.
What you think about Suge comments?
Well, some of the shit said was true, but some of that shit was wrong. Big was here and Puff was on the mic. They had decided that Puff was going to be Big's manager, and Big was going to teach him how to rap and become an artist. That's something that him and Big decided that they was going to do. So Suge is wrong with that because Puff was rapping when Big was alive. You understand? He had started on doing his album, Puff Daddy and the Family. So he, that might be something that Suge don't know nothing about, or he wasn't privy to that information. You understand? But he got his opinion just like everybody else got their opinion.
No, real quick, Gene makes it clear that, the situation with Biggie, he would always regret it. And who wouldn't? Because to think that you had a chance that you could have saved Biggie's life, but it just did not happen, it will haunt any person. Any single person. Once they got a good heart, once they got conscience, once they care about their job and people around them, it would haunt them. So I definitely get where Gene Deal is coming from, but he makes it clear that his priority was Sean Puffy Combs, and that's just the truth. His priority was not Biggie. That is the simple truth, man. And I believe if his priority was Biggie, probably we would have a different outcome, man. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, what if Gene Deal was in the car that Biggie was in? Would stuff be different? Let me know your thoughts on perspective down in the comment section. Now, Gene Deal makes it clear that Greg Caden is a liar, a corrupt man when it comes on to telling the truth, and overall, just a person benefiting from our culture because he did not solve a single damn thing. All right, that's what Gene Deal is saying. Now, Greg Caden has, spoken Gene Deal. Gene Deal have spoken on Greg Caden, but Gene Deal makes it clear that Greg Caden did not solve anything. Greg Caden, he came out and broke his silence on the Biggie and Tupac case. I'm pretty sure you guys know about it. For all who do not know about it, he claims that, he solved a few things and know a few things, such as example, he say for Biggie, Suge Knight was the one who put the hit out, right? And some other few stuff, but Gene Deal makes it clear that those were always there before, there were always theories, and he just came along and ride the wave. And because he was a police officer, it made him look like he was a better source, but in true color, in hindsight, he was not a source. He did not have no original answers, no good answers, and overall, he did not solve any damn thing. And I've also seen people say that the FBI actually sent Greg to come and stir up the culture, to come and just say those stuff, because I see people say this, and I also believe it's a great point where the FBI already knew who took out Biggie and Tupac, right? The FBI, they know, but for some reason, man, it has never been released to the public. Only speculation, only rumors, only theories. And sometimes I wonder why. But the truth is, that's the society we live in, man. The government and all of that. Not everything is going to go the way we want or the way we expect. And it's just the truth, man. It's really just the truth. But I want you guys to watch the rest of the video, watch the rest of the interview, because G Deal is not finished with Greg Caden, and he's also going to say some things on Keefe D. So once again, watch the full video, watch it fully and listen thoroughly. Remember to drop a like, my people. Drop a like and subscribe.
You know, so he wrong at that point when he's talking about that Puff picked up a mic when Big died. Yeah, you know, he said that, you know, which was funny. He said to himself that he was going to be the only one. Nobody was going to be big on his label but him. That's why he was number one, and in that video, Mace was number two. You know what I mean? But as far as what Suge is talking about, you know, it don't hold no weight because Puff was already doing that. He had already had plans before Big even died to be a rap star. He actually was going to let Big manage him, allegedly. You got to realize Puff was a dancer first. He was dancing behind Stacey Lattisaw and, you know, other things. So that's what he chose to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wanted to do with his label. That was his label. That wasn't Suge's label. And that's what he chose to do. That's on him.
You made a comment saying that if Greg Caden, if he testified against Keefe D in Tupac murder case, that Keefe D lawyer can easily pick him apart. You think so?
Oh, my man, I'm praying. I hope it goes to trial. That I'm praying because he would, the lawyer, any 18B lawyer, and that's just a government lawyer, the free lawyer that they give to people, will eat Greg Caden up on the stand. Will eat him up on the stand, bruh. First of all, he had no right. Yo, bruh, he had no right to release that proffer agreement in his book or his movie. But did you hear the story that he gave? He said, I didn't care about Keefe D. I thought this was bigger than Keefe D. He said, I did this because of Tupac. I did it for Tupac. I went to Keefe D home and I saw Keefe D and he said, I saw Keefe D and I let him know. This is bigger than you. I don't care. I'm doing it for Tupac. My man, who do you think you talking to? You did it for your two pockets. You didn't do that shit with Tupac. You did it for your two pockets. You got a book deal. You got a movie deal. Tupac didn't like cops. Told the Vegas cop, get the f away from me. He shot two cops before. His family was in jail for allegedly shooting and killing police officers. So the police and the government did not like Tupac. I was even told that on one of his albums, and he spoke about people going back at the cops. That one white kid, I think, killed a cop or shot a cop in his neighborhood, and he blamed it on the fact he was listening to Tupac. And the government brought him in to talk about that. Shout out to my man Zoe. He put me up on that. So now, if Tupac got all these powers against cops, how you gonna say, I did it for Tupac? You think we that stupid? He just didn't put Kit on back of that statement. He's supposed to say, I did it for my two pockets. That's what that's about, dog. But when the lawyer get him on the stand, and I'm sorry for going into that rant, bro, but when the lawyer get him on the stand and asks him who gave him the right to take government information and put it in his book, who gave him the right to take something that was supposed to be private and tape somebody gonna be in a lot of trouble. Greg Caden should be in jail right about now. You should be right next to Keefe D.
No, real quick, Genius makes it clear that in the clip where Suge Knight was speaking on, Diddy and Biggie, specifically the part where he said, Diddy only started rapping after Biggie passed, that's a lie. And I believe we all can agree with that. Diddy was doing his thing before. Yes, he was dancing a lot. Yes, he was, dancing a lot, as I said, but he was on the mic before Diddy passed. So I do have to agree with Gene Deal with that and disagree with Suge Knight with that. And then obviously when Biggie passed, he had a massive blow up. There's no going around that. So I get what Suge is trying to say, but at the same time, Diddy was on the mic before, right? So I thought I wanted to say that. And when it comes on to Greg Caden, GD makes it clear that he should be in prison with Keefe D right now, man, because Greg Caden ain't doing it for Tupac, but he's doing it for his two pockets. But probably he's doing it for more than two pockets, man, because it seems like Greg Caden is using stuff to be in his book and his movie without actual consent or the right of or the right to use it, right? But then again, man, he worked for the FBI. The police did not like Tupac. So I don't think he would have faced such consequences unless some crazy highlights come from it and some crazy rebuttals and whatever. But Tupac hated the police. Police hated Tupac. Right? So Greg, he's white and he's a policeman. So just do the mess. Right? So do the mess, man. But as I said, Greg Caden have spoken on Gene Deal before. Gene Deal spoke on Greg Caden before. Both of them disagree with each other for the most part. And both of them don't really agree with each other for the most part. Because you can tell that there's beef between them. But I don't know, man. Let me know, who do you guys believe? Personally, whether or not I believe Gene Deal, what I can definitely say is that Greg Caden is sus. I can definitely say that, man. After I started to get into his interviews and stuff that he started to put out, I started to realize that for a lot of the things, man, what he's coming with are stuff that were already told, man. He didn't really come with new stuff, so to say, right? There's no going around that, right? There's absolutely no going around that. I want you guys to let me know your thoughts on perspective on what you think, man. Let me know your honest thoughts on perspective, man. Let me know what you guys believe about Gene Deal and Biggie, man, because it's sad. It's really, really sad, man, to be in the shoe of Gene Deal at that moment. Matter of fact, not just Gene Deal, but a lot more of the brothers that were there. But, Gene Deal, I get what he's trying to say, because he was the one who warned them that something was going to go down tonight. One of them could possibly die. And to see that you warned them and you probably could have be the one to save Biggie's life, I know it must haunt him at least somewhat. And he makes it clear it still haunts him to this very day. So let me know your thoughts on perspective on that, man. Remember to drop a like and subscribe, show some love. Drop a like and subscribe, show some love. I want to say thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. Remember to have an amazing time. Have an amazing day. If you guys not have an amazing day as yet, make your day amazing right this second, right this moment, man. Remember to have an amazing day and amazing time. And as usual, Mo.